Rector, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, pupils of St. Columba's School, it gives me pleasure to extend my own welcome to you today. It's a privilege and honour for me to address you on the occasion of our prize giving. We gather to celebrate the successes and achievements of our prize winners and of our many others who contribute so much to the success of our school and the wider community. This is the 127th St. Columba's prize giving. Although in 1898 the school had not yet been named St. Columba's, 54 pupils started in the first session in Duckle Road, in what was then a purpose-built, modern school with senior and junior pupils together in one building. Over the next century and beyond, the school would operate from a number of different sites in Kilmacolm. The curriculum of English literature and grammar, Latin, history, French and German, arithmetic, mathematics, botany and chemistry, art, drill, and of course needlework was not terribly different from the curriculum of 2024. I believe that the founding principles of our school continue to inform our hopes and aspirations as our teachers nurture our young people, guiding them to become informed, responsible and tolerant citizens. As the young men and women of our sixth year take their leave of us, moving on to university or whatever adventures await them, my hope is that they will be fine ambassadors of our school and for the education which they have received here. This has been a year of many challenges for the school and Board of Governors. The economic difficulties faced by the country have made it much more challenging for independent schools to recruit pupils. And the reduced role here in our junior school has meant that we have had to count every penny. The fact that other independent schools are in the same position hasn't really made me feel much better. The need to control our costs has led us to embark this year on two major projects. The first has been to control our teachers' pension costs, which increased by over 51% over the last 6 years. This involved a lengthy formal consultation process which proved to be successful only because of the cooperation and eminently reasonable approach of our teaching staff, for which governors are very grateful. We are fortunate indeed to have such a committed staff at St. Columba's. The second project is the relocation of junior school to senior school and to sell the Knockbuckle Road site, except for the games hall and surrounding site. Once accomplished, this will significantly improve the school's finances and allow us to look to the future with confidence. I mention these projects very briefly, but they represent an enormous time commitment by governors, and we should not allow ourselves to forget that they are volunteers who give of their time and expertise so willingly. I mention in particular Mrs. Ali Broadley, who has played a leading role in the relocation project, and Mrs. Sue Bomfrey, who chaired the pension consultation with teaching staff. Following recent meetings with parents, of which there were quite a few this term, a number of people have come forward to volunteer their services to the school and to the board. Mr. Graham Craik and Dr. Mary Jackson, both parents of children at the school, will join the board and others will follow very soon. I'm grateful to Mr. Michael Parkinson, who is providing his considerable expertise in support of the relocation project. With a general election looming, we are now preparing for the imposition of VAT on school fees, which I predict will in the end prove to be an enormous folly. A former colleague of mine, Richard Cairns, the headmaster of Brighton College, wrote a letter to the Times recently, asking whether, in imposing VAT, the government would do what is normal practice when such major changes, such as have been made, for example, to state pension arrangements, introduce a series of transitional protections for those who will be worst affected, children in this case. Alas, there are no such proposals. The idea that in imposing VAT on independent schools, a government would be closing a loophole to stop wealthy parents exploiting the system is simply not true. Education has long been a charitable purpose, which led to all forms of education being exempt from VAT. Nobody else paying fees for education, for nursery, for college or for university will be charged VAT. VAT will apply only to children in independent schools, schools where the standards of education are the highest anywhere in the world. These same parents are already paying for the education of their children in the state system, paying twice in effect. Some may say paying 100% tax equivalent. By the time the government has had to pay for the education of children and young people forced from the sector, I fear that it will end up costing the taxpayer more money rather than less. My thanks go to the rector for her outstanding leadership of the school. Headship invariably involves facing major challenges, and Mrs. Riley has certainly had her fair share, not least with almost 3 years of pandemic. She has led the school superbly, and we owe her a debt of gratitude. I had the good fortune to attend the Silver Tablet a few weeks ago. I have attended quite a few Silver Tablets over the years, but I've never seen such an outstanding talent from all competitors, 5 in this case, with 2 sharing the prize. When I gave the rector's speech at prize givings, I was often annoyed when the chairman speaking before me stole the highlights of the year, so I shall leave it to Mrs. Riley to mention the names. On the same day as the Silver Tablet, another outstanding success was achieved by the school on the national stage. Our debaters won the Mace, the foremost debating trophy in Scotland. Again, I will not steal Mrs. Riley's thunder, but I will congratulate Mrs. Janet Stevens, former senior deputy rector, who single-handedly started and developed debating at St. Columba's and is still doing it 8 years after her retirement. We owe her our sincere thanks. Our bursar, Mrs. Una Telfer, in addition to a wide and extensive remit, has taken a leading role in our major projects. Without her commitment, expertise, and sheer hard work, they would not have been successful. Thank you. I shall be popping up again shortly to introduce our principal guest, but this is my opportunity to send my very best wishes to our leavers as they start new chapters in their lives. Good luck to those awaiting public examination results in 7 weeks' time. Luck, of course, will play no part in the outcome. And to wish you all a wonderful summer holiday.